All right, babes, it's Bimini and we are back with a brand new episode of The Pieces, and let's talk about sex, baby. I am joined by Dr. Tara. How are you? Have you had an orgasmic morning?
An extremely orgasmic morning.
We're talking about your necklace there,
Thank
which
you.
people that are watching on the camera, if you're listening on audio, I'm sorry, but it is the pink diamond necklace that says orgasmic, and it is so good.
Thank you. Thank you,
it.
babe. I mean, I love it. This is sort of like my brand, and I don't have to say much when I see people. So they see my necklace and they're like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I'm really excited to get into it with you today.
Yeah.
But how have you been? How's your week been?
My week has been really good. A lot of press because Celebs Go Dating is on. And yeah, people just have questions about Celebs Go Dating at the moment.
So having a question about that, how's it been going? How's the press gone this time out? Because you said it's your third year.
Well, this is my third series. So people are like, how has it been for the last 3 years? What's the difference? How's your relationship with Anna and Paul and Tom? Who's your favorite celeb? So, some of the questions I get are the same, but
Right.
there are new questions that are more like, who's the most sex positive this year? It's Donna Preston. But yeah, she's such a queen.
So those kind of things. So do you notice any kind of themes or particular topics that come up each season, would you say? Like if there's someone, so I wonder if there's something that they're pushing more, or there's something that they want to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice any of that, or is it change, or is it just like a free all and then you pick up on what the themes could be? Like someone's more sex positive, for example. Is that celebrated?
Oh, that's a big question.
Because I feel like the British public can be very judgmental.
Yeah.
So that's my thing, is they can be, and especially right now, I feel like it's quite a scathing time. So I wonder because I believe in sex positivity, I feel like
100%.
we need liberation with that. And I think conversations, particularly from people like yourself and shows like Celebs Go Dating, can open that, but it can also have the opposite, especially with certain celebs that are on there. Do you notice that bias or anything?
I noticed that. Yeah. I noticed that, to make it mainstreamable, I am able to say certain things, but then not certain things. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a subtext to things, right? I can say, if you ever listen or watch my podcast, you'll know what I'm about. But on Celebs Go Dating, I'm sort of 50% operating because again, it's mainstream TV. It's on a network. I'm a bit careful what I say. But at the same time, I really love the show because it shows a variety of different walks of life. You'll have older guys. This year we have Mark Luvbites. Have you ever seen The Chase?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we have older guys. Then we have someone that has been a celebrity for years and years, like Carrie Katona. And then we'll have young people that just kind of still finding their place in the world, like Louis Russell or Olivia from Love Island. So I like that it shows different walks of life and people's different struggles. But when it comes to sex positivity, I have not met anyone, I have not met a celebrity on the show like Donna. Because Donna is very sex positive, and we just sort of became good friends right away because we connect on that sexual liberation, right? And communicating about it. Because if there's no representation or communication about sex, then there's no true liberation ever.
I totally agree with that. And I'd say obviously without wanting to give away too much, but how do you find the matches with Donna have been? Is she got a fight? Can you not say about that?
Donna has had interesting matches. I would say her first date involved a blindfold.
Well, all but best first dates do.
Did you ever have a first date where it was very kinky?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely have.
Yeah.
I think especially in the queer world, especially we're quite
yeah, but a first date, not a dick date.
Oh, is there a difference?
Yes.
Maybe not a first date if we're going proper terms, but definitely I've had a lot of hookups and first
same.
kinky,
Same.
But no, I guess first dates, no, it's normally a bit of maybe a bit of slap and tickle. That's about it.
Slap and tickle. I love that. So British.
Yeah.
So what is slap and tickle?
Just a bit of touchy, feely. Nothing too. No blindfolds coming out yet.
No touching of the genital.
Well, no, I think so. Yeah. I definitely over the years. I mean, there was a time when I was I wouldn't give it out on the first date, but that went out the window quite quickly.
You know, that's interesting. In research in psychology, we have two frameworks when it comes to sex on the first date. We have sexual restraint model and we have sexual compatibility model. And we find that people who subscribe to sexual restraint model will set a rule for themselves. They will go, I only have sex on a third date, or on a sixth date, or it has to have been 3 months. And they come up with these arbitrary rules. But then people that subscribe to the model of sexual compatibility, they will have sex first date if there is a connection, because they have to weed it out right away if we are sexually compatible. So they don't mind like immediately, you know, quote unquote, give out or have sex on the first date. And I totally subscribe to that school. Like I need to know immediately rather than waiting for like a third date. For me, it's like a waste of my time if by third date I have sex and I'm like, oh no, we're not compatible.
I agree with you. And I think like, to be fair, to be honest now with how conversations are in apps, I think a lot of the time, and I actually try to not feed into this if I'm going to date someone, it's like they give away too much before you even go on the date. Like you've seen the slap and tickle. Like you've seen it all.
I know your face and your butthole.
And I know what the penis is saying. And it's like sometimes you want to have a bit of mystery, but I do love the first dates. Like I subscribe to that as well, what you're saying. Like I think originally that was just because society were like, oh, it should be the third date.
Oh, totally. Yeah, because like if you're quote unquote worthy or high value, which like makes me barf. If you're high value, you like keep it, right? And like you don't do it on a first date. But then I think that's just all like misogyny and patriarchy.
Sure. And it's the patriarchy, which we want to deconstruct and we want to get rid of. But I think like I agree with that as well. And there's nothing better than like going on that first date and knowing that there's sexual chemistry and feeling that passion between you both, whether it's like you're having a couple of drinks and you're chatting and getting to know each other. And you can feel if there's intimacy there, you know?
It's the best.
Yeah.
Like that new relationship energy. The NRE is the best.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a really good feeling. And also like when people think of sex, their definition of sex is so narrow. Their definition of sex is penetration. But there's so many things that's sex. Like if you look at the textbook, in which like I co-authored a textbook that a lot of universities use in the United States on human sexuality. If you look at the textbook, there's literally like at least 46 different things that you do that are sex. So have sex, like what does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if someone touched my clit and I came on a first date, did we have sex?
Well, yeah. This is what I mean. Like, there's so much. And I think, you're right with the rigidness of like, oh, it's penetrative or it's nothing.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people like, you probably will know this, but Grindr, which is obviously like the gay hookup app. They say dating. It's a gay hookup app. They now have the option of a side, which is a position, because you could put your position up there. You could be like versatile, which is both top and bottom bunk, or you can have the top or the bottom bunk, but then side is somebody that isn't really into the penetration and it's more just kind of oral, or it can be like anything other than.
What's the word?
Side. A side.
Like
so it's
I'm
like
a side.
Top versatile, bottom side.
Wow, I love that. I love
and that's
that
now
the
an
queer
option.
scene has been literally like queer people have been the best at creating language.
Yeah.
Like there have been so many great words that everybody uses now that's so mainstream that a lot of people don't even know that came from like a group of queer people. Just coining terms left and right. My favorite is monogamish.
Monogamish?
Yeah.
Monogamish?
Yeah, it's coined by Dan Savage, like also a queer writer.
Yeah.
And it's super cool. But yeah, I've never heard of side. I love side. Like do hetero people use it?
I don't know, because I don't know if there's like a strict like hetero hookup app.
That's what I mean. Tinder.
Tinder? Is that? I thought that was a dating app.
Oh, yeah, for you.
Yeah. No, so I know there's Field, Field is like a really, really good one. And that's more kinky.
Yeah.
And that's like you put out what you want straight away, which I think is really good.
I love it.
And it's very open for anyone, like no matter your gender identity, your sexuality. And you can and it's very much more open-minded.
Yeah, I think apps need to be more sex positive for sure. And I love that Field is doing that. And there's Wax app and there's Pure app. And these are all apps that you just put on like your sexual preferences like on the profile right away. I get it when people are like, yeah, but if you want to find like a quote unquote like life partner, you go on non-sexual apps. But then at the end of the day, like, wouldn't you want to have an amazing sex life with your life partner? Like, are they separate?
Yeah.
Like, that's the question. Is having a life partner and having an amazing orgasmic sex life separate?
Yeah, I find it because I know actually quite a lot of couples that have been long-term together and they no longer have sex with each other. They will only have sex away from their relationship. And some of them haven't had sex together for 10 years, even though they're married. And I'm like, to me, I love the idea of the life partner and I think that's beautiful. But I want to still have sex with my life partner. For
A lot of sex.
A lot of sex.
Are you thinking of getting married?
I was saying this earlier, literally to producer P over there. I was saying like, I want to get married. I was just at a big gay wedding at the weekend and it was beautiful.
Aww.
It was actually like really lovely. And I thought like, I want to get married for the wedding.
Yeah, for the wedding.
For the wedding, for the photos, for the looks. And I was like, and for the whole thing, like, I just think it was beautiful. I'd love to see my mum dressed up. I'd love to like have that for her because I'm the eldest. So I think like I would like to do it. But then if I get divorced, then it's I get divorced. That's kind of what I was like, I think three husbands are chic.
Yeah, like Elizabeth Taylor. No, I think she had 5.
Yeah, she had 5. Then Pammy, she's had like quite a few. Like,
yeah.
I think like love comes at different stages, and I think if you want to go along with what your partner wants, like, did I ever want to get married? No, this is only quite a recent revelation. I think like growing up queer, not even thinking about children and marriage, I didn't want it, and I didn't prescribe to the notions of marriage because I think we were kept away from it for so long that I thought like they can just take that away again.
Yeah,
you know, it's a piece of paper that just can make it easier. And for a lot of people, it's really important. But I do think like nowadays we're seeing it happening less.
I love a social wedding. A lot of my friends in LA are not legally married because of like finances and all the complications, but they have a big wedding and they go by husband and wife and people recognize them as a husband and wife, but they just get socially married.
I love that.
Yeah, they just have a big social wedding.
That's what I'm going to do. Like the next person, we're going to like plan the wedding straight away.
Babe, you can have press pay for it. Like you give them an exclusive.
Well, I am actually single now. So Celebs Go Dating. If you do need someone on the next season.
You know. We'll be casting for the next series soon.
Yeah. Well, I think like my dating, like, I mean, my sex life and my dating life are completely different. Like I was just...
Are they?
They are at the minute, yeah.
What,
My sex
how
life, because
so?
I was in a relationship with someone for 2.5 years and we broke up at the top of the year. So then for the last 6 or 7 months, I haven't been seeking that level of
a romantic connection.
But
sexual connection.
But sexual
open
connection.
Too.
Yeah, it's been like very
Your legs are open.
My legs are open. They're
heart
spread.
is closed, legs open.
Yeah, basically. But like, I do like the connection with people as well. So there's always that. It's never like really anonymous or anything, like, which is definitely like a lot of people are into that. But for me, there has got to be that connection.
Yeah.
And I will say like, and this isn't like a generalization, but I feel like I've had a sex with a few Brazilians and they are really good in bed. Brazilians, like, they're just sexy.
Oh my God.
I don't know if it's like every single Brazilian, they're taught how to have sex or they're taught like how to move their bodies. But the Brazilians that I have had sex with recently have been very fiery.
And I think Brazil has like bomb gay culture. Like, right? Like queer culture is like a thing.
But I think they're quite open and
passionate people.
And passionate, right?
Yeah.
And in general, they're quite passionate.
Even the language, like Portuguese, it's they speak Portuguese.
Yes.
I was like, do they?
Yeah. I think that most of them do, for sure.
Yeah,
they just speak Portuguese as the main language.
It's a very passionate language, and language shapes understanding. And there are certain languages that are more masculine, certain languages that are more feminine, and then some languages have more words about love. Some languages have fewer words about love and sex, which is really interesting. But that's why I'm fascinated with just people coining their own terms, really. Because I'm like, why not? It's modern. It's the modern time. Like there's no more, there's already all the languages out there. Like there's not necessarily a new language. So like might as well add. So love new terms.
Learning about sex, and like we've just touched on it with the apps, the digital age of intimacy basically. So we've got like TikTok, OnlyFans, AI girlfriends, which is one. How is technology shaping modern intimacy? And is it expanding connection or is it replacing it, would you say?
It depends on how the user uses it. It's kind of like drugs.
Yep.
You know, you can use certain drugs with like moderation, and you know, I'm talking about things that are perhaps legal, but like to your advantage, to open your mind, to connect deeper, to explore like even psychedelics, right? Like to explore like deeper realms of reality and truth for yourself. but you can also abuse it. I think it's the same. I think it's the same with technology. It's the same with social media. I'm not on the camp of blaming technology for everything. I'm really not. I'm a big supporter of technology and knowing how to use it. I'm a big supporter of people having their own freaking agency to learn how to use things critically and not just like, oh, I'm a victim of technology. Like, you don't have to be if you become more mindful and critical as a consumer. So for me, yeah, there can be an app about AI girlfriend and you can create an AI girlfriend and maybe it adds to your life with your partner. What if you and your partner want to have a threesome, but like don't want to have a threesome with a real person? You can have an AI boyfriend or girlfriend or person that you see, and that can be your dynamic. That can be your throuple. Like, this is my partner and this is my other partner on my phone. So for me, it's like, it's how you use it. The same with porn. I mean, that's a huge discussion now, considering in the UK, you now have to do verification to watch porn. But like, same thing with porn, with dating apps. It's like people blame dating apps, but at the same time, like, how are you using it? You need to take accountability on your own behavior. And a part of being, a professor of human behavior is I know that everyone has their own agency and free will, but whether or not you get succumbed to the worst side of things, it's all on you.
It's funny you say about like in the UK with the age verification now on porn. So when I went onto the website and like I went to a website and it asked me to put like your like ID, or it's like we'll scan your face and tell, or like take a picture of your face and tell and whether you're older. And they did it, and then I'm like, they said, "Yep, you can go in." I'm like, rude.
They're like, you are 47.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to know how old you thought I was.
Wait, you have to be 18, right?
You have to be 18, yeah.
Which, like, I get it from like a parental standpoint.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people watch more from everywhere. Twitter. I mean, do you have to put...
I mean, literally Twitter, like you go through your Twitter feed, your x.com or whatever, and it is just a lot of porn could come up.
Yeah, it's like, it's funny kind of silly. It's like a Band-Aid.
When my parents, like, first on my like family computer when I was younger, found porn that I'd watched, it was like hetero porn at the time.
Oh, what?
Like I was about 13 or 14. I was
what were you watching?
And like they just found, it was like a hetero porn website. I can't remember what it was, but that's what they found. And then they were like, "Oh, you're straight. We didn't think that." I was like, "Girl, no."
You were 13 watching hetero porn.
I think so. Like, it was quite young, yeah.
Well, when I was 13, I was a lesbian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was a lesbian for a long time because I went to an all-girls Catholic school. That's lesbian factory.
Yeah, how was that? How do you think that shaped your ideas of sex growing up?
Well, when I was younger, I was very ashamed that I was so interested in sex, and that I was so sexual. I was watching porn all the time, touching myself all the time, and just thought like something's wrong with me almost all the time, like constantly.
But
and that's not a state you want to be in when you're like 13.
It's taught.
Yeah. So for me, it took a long time of embarking on this like sexual empowerment journey to even get here and to even get like the platform to be able to help other people feel less shame and experience more pleasure. It's really a blessing. Like I'm so grateful every day that I get to do this work, and like this is how I will be for the, I don't know, when will I die? 102? So another
Never.
65 years.
Yeah. Well, this is like, I think it's so important what you do. And I think like the conversations that will help and benefit people, there are powers in place that try to prevent that. And like, we know what those powers could be. I've got like a section here on shame and culture, because I think shame and liberation, like how shame still shapes sexuality and relationships and how we can dismantle it, is such an important conversation to be had. And this is going back to my own experience too. Like, I'm lucky that I didn't really grow up. I grew up quite with an atheist family. So I grew up like my mum went to church like once or twice.
In her whole life or in a week?
Took me, took me like once a year. She'd take me to like take us to church, and like, we weren't really around like a lot of religious upbringing, but they were like Protestant in the UK. So it was like a different, the Catholic and Protestant. So they were like a Protestant Scottish family. So but then I was taught about shame in a way. So like a lot of us are taught about shame before we're taught pleasure. Like that isn't something that we're taught. We have me feeling queer desires and sexual desires when I was younger that weren't what society.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
expected.
that. Did you experience a lot of shame, or because your family is quite open-minded, you didn't experience too much shame?
So they're open-minded, but not really sexually open. They're quite like,
okay.
like my mum would even say about my like stepdad, who I grew up with, was quite prudish. Whereas like on my dad's side, even though they were divorced, my dad's a lot more open and a lot more like sexually liberal in that sense. So like my nan, she was like a dancer. Like she was
what kind of dancer?
she was a Tiller girl, but she did like Penthouse Pet and things like that. Like she did like some like naughty pictures back in like
I love that.
So they were a lot more that side of the family. I think I'm a lot more like my dad's side, even though I grew up with my mum's side. But like the queerness element was something that I didn't really understand. I couldn't grasp it because I was 5, 6, 7, dancing around to Britney Spears, like having a great time.
Watching hetero porn.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Your parents are like, I think you're confused.
Yeah. But I'm dancing around and I'm being told I'm gay.
Right.
By other people. I'm being told I'm like different by adults, you know, and like older brothers of friends, like before I even knew what
that's
sexuality
a very
was.
unique journey then.
I think so, but I think a lot of like you start feeling like those that are maybe a bit fruity from a young age are told they're fruity from a young age, so you feel like you're different, you know.
Right.
So then I definitely did try to like repress it a bit. So I was ashamed of that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the cure for sexual shame is education. But I think the power there is knows that. That's why they keep blocking comprehensive sex education everywhere. I mean, tell me in the UK, do you get comprehensive sex education?
We put a condom on a banana once and that was probably about it. Like it was really bad.
It wasn't like a whole term talking about like love,
it should
dating,
be ongoing.
relationship. Yeah, and also like consent, but also like non-traditional sexual desires. And you were not taught that.
No.
I was not taught that, and I mean most people in the world haven't taught that. So I know for a fact that there is, a powerful group of people that don't want people to become sexually liberated, because sexual liberation can then be the catalyst to a lot of other types of liberation, because sex is so vulnerable and hard to talk about. So if you unlock that, you will unlock a whole lot of freedom, which certain groups of powerful people don't want you to have. So for me, I know that there's a whole scheme of not having education. However, we live in a modern world where most people can get a hold of sex positive, credible content. So things like a book, like one of my favorite books ever is called Come As You Are by Dr. Emily Nagoski. Love that book. I think everyone should read that book regardless of their gender or sexual orientation. And there's just so many other books like Sex at Dawn, which questions monogamy and talks about non-traditional relationships in a historic, like based on history. So there are many books. The reason why I'm saying this is because even if you're not a book reader, you can listen to the book. But the reason why I'm saying this is because research found that when people become sexually educated, they become more sexually confident. And that leads to having agency and having communication confidence. There is no sexual liberation without communication. If you're not able to communicate and express how you feel, your desires, your boundaries, then you're not liberated at all. You can say that you do all these things, but then in relationships, if you're not exercising that communication, it means that you're still living in your shadow of what you think you are. So for me, education is the strongest cure to all of sexual shame. Once you learn, you reduce uncertainty. And when you reduce uncertainty, you grow confidence.
Obviously, a lot of like conversations around ethical non-monogamy are coming up now, polyamory. What are the key differences between those terms? Like ethical non-monogamy, polyamory, and open relationships. They're all three different things, right?
Yeah. They are three different things, but very similar.
Yeah.
So as a professor of sexuality, I would have to say like the word E&M or ethical non-monogamy is the umbrella term that anyone can use.
Yeah.
So if you are, even if you are a couple that are quote unquote monogamous most of the times, but then you go to sex parties and you have threesomes sometimes and you swing sometimes, like then you are E&M. E&M works for everybody. Like if you are in somewhat of a non-monogamous situation and you are doing it ethically, meaning it's all out in the open and communicative and consensual, you are in E&M. So E&M is the easiest word to use.
Yeah.
My students always ask, because like I teach university, right? They're like 21. Like, okay, like Dr. Tara, I'm not monogamous, but like I don't know, there's too many terms. Like what can I say that like won't offend anybody? I'm like, just say you're E&M.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the go-to. So E&M is the umbrella term. Now, within that, there's different structures. An open relationship is sort of a choose your own adventure relationship. If you are dating, let's say we're dating and we're in an open relationship, it really just depends on us. It's like a la carte on a menu.
Yeah.
So let's say we say, okay, like you can't date in London because I don't want you to see you like dating other people, but you can date people outside of London. Like, you know, like you come up with your own rules. So that's like an open relationship, but it's typically like there is a primary, like we are dating, but we are open. Polyamory has also multiple substructures, but the main difference between open relationship and polyamory is polyamory, there's love amongst the members. Open relationship, there can just be recreational sex. So like, if we're open, you know, and I go to sex parties and I have sex with, you know, 3 other people and I come home and we go to bed, like we're open. I don't have to love those people. I don't have to build a relationship. They were just strangers. Polyamory, you love these people.
Right.
Yeah, there is love, there is connection, there is work, like maintaining a relationship, which is hard work. And even within poly, there's, you know, a hierarchical poly, non-hierarchical poly. There's kitchen table poly, which I find like actually really sweet. Like kitchen table poly is when everyone live together. They all raise children together. They all pay bills together. They all live in a commune, which I find quite fascinating. But yeah, so there's different types. Do you know what your relationship structure preference is?
Ethical non-monogamy, I guess, like would be being open and honest about everything.
Yeah.
I think polyamory, I mean, I guess it depends on the circumstance and the place in life I am. But I think having a life partner and having someone that is like your best friend, but then you have a relationship where you're open and honest about things. And I think that maybe it's the mix between the open and ethical non-monogamy. But I guess they blend quite well.
Yeah, I mean, open is sort of within the umbrella of E&M.
So like being open, I think it's all about being truthful and honest about situations. I feel like it's also like having like a team, like a sidekick as well. And I think like that's what's always kind of lacked in past relationships. But I definitely don't see myself
What was lacking?
Like there were times when I was in a relationship, we would have a lot of sex and then there'd be spells where there was no sex happening, but we were monogamous.
Oh.
So whenever there was like conversations about like maybe we shouldn't be in this because we've not had sex for 3 months and I like to have sex.
3 months a long
It's
time.
a long time, yeah. And then it's also, then I always felt bad and I was like pressurized, like a lot of pressure. And there's a lot of taboo around sex. So you don't want to feel like you're pressuring someone in a relationship, you know? And I think there was a breakdown with that. And for the record, I wasn't pressuring anything in like a bad way. I'm just like asking to have sex with my intimate partner.
Yeah. You're initiating. So sexual initiation.
And then that's also unsexy. I like the like spontaneity sometimes.
Also, research found that when you're the person that has to initiate all the time, that is correlated with feelings of resentment.
And that is true.
Yeah, and you never want to have even just a hint of resentment in a relationship because that is the recipe for a disaster. It's the start of a disaster. It's a little seed of resentment that will grow into a big tree and it will just end poorly. So,
and I think me and my partner that I was with for like a good few years, we met in a sexual situation. Like we met
like
at a sex party with some other people, and like that's how we met. It was like a sex party, and then we got on really well, and then we started hanging out after that, and then we were very sexually open with each other and with other people for like the first good 6 months, and then it kind of just went the opposite way, and then it like you just become like, we're having sex every now and then, with no one else, and it was just us. And like I think that was a real breakdown.
People say humans at the beginning of like finding a relationship will naturally incline to living monogamous like which
Yeah.
has a lot of terms, but like not monogamous per se, but living monogamous like, because of obviously like various evolutionary theory explanations. For people that identify as women, they may feel like when I have a partner, this is a part of my resources. And in order to survive, right? I mean, the only part of evolutionary theory is surviving. In order to survive, I need to keep and control my resources. So women may feel naturally inclined to be monogamous unless they work on that part and realize like, we don't live in like cave people time anymore, and you have your own agency and you can make your own money and you can have your own freedom. But at the same time, it's interesting that you said that you and maybe even other queer people may feel inclined to be monogamous like, because it goes against evolutionary theory. Because in evolutionary theory, like they explain why men tend to cheat more sexually, because they have a part of them
Spread the seed.
Yeah, to spread the seeds and carry on the species. So it's interesting that people would go against that grain.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember learning, because I think psychology is something that I wished I'd done more of, because I loved learning about it. And I remember learning all about the evolutionary theory, and like we were learning a lot more about it. It was very like A-level at the time, because that's what I studied. But like I feel like your career is just amazing. Like what you've become, like a professor of sexuality, is just so cool. It's so good.
It's so fun. I honestly like every day is different.
Yeah.
Like yesterday I was reviewing an ethical porn video and like filming myself giving a review of that video. The day before I met with my teaching assistants to prepare for the term, because the term starts soon. And then the day before I get to do a sneak peek and launch my very first orgasm song.
Amazing.
I like made a song for sex. And like,
I love that.
Yeah, and it's like within the sex positive like content creator realm. So yeah, it's such a good thing. I mean, and then the week before I was filming Celebs Go Dating, talking about Mark having big dick energy. Like it's just a
well, it's never boring.
No, it's never that. Yeah,
but sex and life shouldn't be boring. Sex and life shouldn't be boring.
Life shouldn't be boring. I mean, are there boring things that you have to do like taxes?
Yes.
That's
very boring.
But you can also like wear lingerie and do tax.
It's true. That's sexual liberation. I really wish everyone would feel it, because I like to be sexually liberated. I like to be as open as I can. I'm not uncomfortable talking about sex. I think like, sorry mum, I did meet my ex at a sex party. Sorry. Sorry about it. She's going to be like, But going back to the shame side, like, do you think there's a cultural shift happening at the minute? And do you think that the younger generations, how do you think they are with sex? They're more open, or are they like dismantling the shame around sex?
When it comes to society and shame, sexual shame, there is a swing phenomenon going on. Meaning there are parts of the world where it gets worse. No, not... damn it. I wish it was sex swing. I was on recently. But no, I think there's a swing phenomenon going on where places that are super sexually conservative are becoming more conservative. And then there's spaces in the world that are progressive, that are becoming even more open and progressive. And sort of not a lot in between, which is really sad. Because the people that are being sexually repressed even more in sexually conservative cultures, they are going to feel it. And their children are going to feel it. And the next generation is going to feel it, because it takes a long time. I mean, when was first round of feminism? Like so long ago. It takes so long to dismantle anything. So the fact that there are certain subcultures that are experiencing even more repression when it's 2025, it is insane. And in not a good way. But at the same time, I think in metropolitan cities and in, a lot of countries, Gen Zs and the younger generation, they are so open-minded. I mean, that's all the people I interact with. Like all my students are Gen Zs. And every time I do a survey in class, like, okay, like raise your hand if you feel like you're this. Raise your hand if you identify as this. And a lot more people just don't care about these strict labels. A lot of them are just like, I honestly don't care. Like, I think I'm fluid, if that works. Yeah, like
I
they
think
really don't
fluidity
care.
is beautiful.
I literally talked to my TAs the other day, and because they're gonna become my teaching assistants for my sex class. So I asked them like, are you guys dating? Like, what are you into? They're like, we're not dating right now, but we're into like sort of anything. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, are you pan? Are you bi? They're like, we're just like anything.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting. They don't even want to say it. Yeah.
Well, I think like, what can we do more of? Because I think, do you notice any reaction with social media? Not from necessarily people. I'm sure people have had their opinions about like a female being sexually liberated. Like people could be assholes, I can imagine.
Yeah.
But do you think social media can do more to enhance sexual liberation? Because I think sometimes it can block or like stop videos being shown.
There's a lot of censorship.
Yeah.
A lot of censorship. Yeah. It's terrible. The censorship is terrible. And I mean, I see
it's harmful.
It's very harmful because at the same time, you're not censoring people that are spitting really dangerous masculine narratives. People like Andrew Tate But then, a sex educator might talk about like how to safely peg, and then that video is banned and deleted.
It's wild.
Yeah,
it's really wild.
And again, it goes back to what I said about the powerful people blocking sex education. It's the same. It's the powerful people blocking online sex education through social media censorship. And it's really dangerous. I do think that in terms of reducing shame, I do think there is a positive effect in following sex positive creators. Like people that follow you will feel your liberation, and they will find inspiration in your liberation. That's why I think it's so important to like do an audit of who you follow and make sure that there's diversity in thoughts, there's diversities in representation, there's diversity in the way they share about information, and of course like follow people that are sex positive on social media.
So I grew up like my queen, my pop icon, she's Madonna. I'm like sexually liberated Madonna. She was like the amount of things that I remember like watching of her, like she had like kind of masturbating with a crucifix on like stage and like couldn't perform it in certain places and still do it. I was just like,
I love Madonna. I remember because I grew up in Thailand and Madonna wasn't as big in Thailand. I think it's because we're like Buddhists and she's like really out there. So they try to like block her. Yeah. But still like I found some stuff on her and then I watch MTV and when she comes on, she's just an icon. And even back then we didn't have social media, but we found our sex positive content creator back then to follow, which is Madonna and many other people.
Right, exactly.
Dolly Parton.
Yep.
Love Dolly Parton.
I love that. What's one myth about sex or relationships that you wish would be banned?
Oh gosh.
There must be loads.
So many. Can I say 3?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, first one is masturbation is bad for you. Like, let's stop that. People go like, oh, but if you masturbate a lot, you will like desensitize. Like, no, that's not how it works.
No.
Like, trust me, I study this. Like, it's not how it works at all.
It's good for you.
It's good for your health. It's good for your physical health. It's good for your mental health. It's good for your sexual health. And it's also good for your relationship.
Yeah.
Because then you're less sexually frustrated and more ready for intercourse or if that's what you want. 2 is it's normal to be in a sexless relationship after dating for 2 years. I heard this on TikTok where there's this girl, she's like, I think we should normalize just not having sex with our spouse. Like, why do we have to? I'm like, that is so harmful. Like, it's not that you have to, but what is that doing to like it has other ramifications. It's not, sex is never just about sex. Sex is about everything else in your relationship and life. So for me, like that's a myth that I hope like people don't adopt, that being in a sexless relationship is good. Unless you're asexual, which is fine.
Yeah.
The third one would be that the only valid form of relationship is monogamy, and questioning other people that they are not actually in love, or that's not true love, or that's not your soulmate when you're not in a monogamous relationship. I was recently on a podcast and she was like, yeah, but then like, if you already have someone, why would you seek out another? I'm like, is it about that? Or is it just about the fact that love is so expansive and emotions are expansive and humans are not limited? Humans are limitless. We put limits on ourselves.
Absolutely.
And social constructs put limits on ourselves. So for me, it's like, let's like squash that. Like any sort of relationship can be valuable and worthy and beautiful.
I think you're my favorite person ever. If you could give everyone listening to this a homework assignment for better intimacy this week, what would it be?
Ooh. I would say, can I do two things?
Go for
I'm
it.
a professor. I have
Yeah.
like this.
You got
One
double
thing,
the homework.
Yeah, double the homework. The first thing I want people to try is mindful masturbation. We live in a hustle culture where when you masturbate, you want to come in 2 minutes, right? You pop on something to watch and you go for it and you come in 2 minutes and you're done. And you're like, oh, that was great. And I had a release and I'm feeling good. But sometimes it's not about that. And sometimes doing that a lot can actually negatively affect your sex life with a partner. Because now you are, your brain gets used to one sensation, one motion, really quick, one grip, and then you just sort of lose the ability to experience pleasure elsewhere in other forms. We actually call it idiosyncratic masturbation, which is a problem. So I highly recommend doing mindful masturbation. What that means is like taking it slow and actually not even coming. Which is hard.
Edging.
Yeah, edging. And yeah, take the time, maybe even do a visual cleanse. So like not watching anything.
Yeah.
Just thinking about hot things that you've done.
I do that a lot. Like I actually prefer that.
Really?
Yeah.
But you have a lot of in the bank.
I've got a lot in the bank.
Yeah.
Got a lot to go from.
Some of my students go like, yeah, but I've only had like one partner, so I don't have a lot in the bank. I'm like, use your, like come up with a metaphor, like come up with your own story, right? It can be
like before everything, it was like literally going into TK Maxx and seeing the underwear, like the men's boxer shorts when I was younger. Yeah.
And you were like, oh yeah.
Yeah, like that. I'd think about what I'd see then, like when I was younger, when I wasn't watching porn. So I think like I've always had the visual.
But I mean, even looking at you, you're a very creative person. And I think creatives have more capacity for something like that. Okay, the second homework is please pick up a sex book. Any credible sex book from a credible author. There are so many. There's like at least 100. So pick up one and just start reading about it in your free time. Maybe read 10 pages at a time or even listening to the ebook. But really, education is going to be your path to a successful sex life.
Dr. Tara, thank you so much for coming on The Pieces. It's been a pleasure and a lot of pleasure. Listen to those bits of homework and I want you to report back and let me know. Thank you for coming on The Pieces.
Thank you.